Hey, what is going on everybody? It is Nolan, or the Optimistic Gamer here, and welcome back to our weekly live stream. Of course, we are starting right here at our wind charge booster, because where else would we start? I still can't get over how fun this machine is. But we are also working in this area today. I have started recording our episode 90, either 96 or 97, this morning, and we are beginning to work on the path that will take us all the way up to where our North Pole is, all the way at the top of the mountain. That is why we have this ground carved out, that's why we have this netherrack, and that is why we have our base camp set up right here. So if we take a look at our agenda for today, you will see that our two items that have the asterisk next to it are the path to the mountain, which is this right here, and the other item is snow. You will see once that episode is out that I talked about basically covering the entire mountain at the top with snow all the way down to where the meadow ends and the plains begin. So right here, if we have a look at the biome, we can see meadow, still meadow, and it should be right around here that we will see that transition to the plains biome. Everything that is meadow, I want to cover with snow and ice and have it look like a winter wonderland up here. So that is the other thing that we are doing. We are covering this whole thing, or at least getting a start on covering it with snow. We already have all of our resources gathered right down here in the shulker boxes that we are going to need to start working on the path, and we are just going to get started on that right away. Nothing to it, nice and simple, just filling all of this in with the same pattern that we've been doing in the past. So that is for stone. That will be our path once we get towards the top of the mountain, and we already have some of our snow blocks that we will be using later on as well. We will store those away. We can put the book away for now, and the firework rockets, we can put those up as well. We're going to get some sleep, and then we will get to work on the path. Again, those 6 different materials plus coarse dirt sprinkled in from time to time. And we are just going to start by placing down, I guess we can get rid, we'll need our pickaxe, maybe. There we go. We'll start with our tough, and we will just go through and just place these at random. So this is, I'm sure I have showcased building the path in the past, but it has probably been a very long time. This is kind of how I do it. I just go through one block at a time and place them down just like this. Now the path on average is about 5 to 6 blocks wide, and there are 6 different blocks that we use, so roughly 1 block per row, but I do like to make it as random as possible. Sometimes the blocks connect, sometimes they are spaced apart. It really just depends on what I'm feeling as I place them. And then go through with stone bricks. Again, we just do this over and over until the path is all filled in. With the coarse dirt, I like to fill those blocks in here in the corners. If we grab that out, I like to place them close to the grass, not in every single corner, but frequently enough so that we get a little bit of that overlap and that transition with the grass and the stone path. So we'll just go through and do that real quick. There we go, that should be good. I do it pretty sparingly. I don't want to overwhelm the path with our dirt blocks, but something about like that, maybe one more right up here. There we go. We'll start working on our cobblestone. Also, with the path, there are sort of 2 different styles. We have our smooth blocks, the stone bricks, and andesite, and then we have the rough textured blocks in the gravel, cobblestone, and tough. I like to make sure that these are kind of spaced apart, that way we get a good variation in the patterns, not just the blocks themselves. So we will go in and fill it in like that. We'll place a few more. So I like to put the rough next to the smooth and the smooth next to the rough. I also like to keep an eye on how many blocks I've used, so we are all the way down to 29 tough. I typically try to match that as I place in other blocks. That way they are pretty even across the board and we don't get one block dominating the entire palette. So we'll take this down, I think 33 is fine, and then we'll place in a few more stone bricks and get that down to the lower 30s or upper 20s. I like to start slow, that way we don't end up with not enough spaces for other blocks, so we'll do something like that, and now we can go in and place our andesite. So really it isn't that difficult to make the path, it just takes a little bit of time when you are doing a large stretch. That's why I always like to put it off, because it is very time consuming. But hey, that's why we have the live stream now, and I think it is working out quite nicely for us. This is the first time that I've used it to sort of cut in between a video as it happens. We're going to be doing the off-camera work of a video in this live stream, which I'm actually pretty excited about. I don't really know how it's going to go. And we have one cobblestone right there. We haven't done cobblestone and we haven't done stone, so we will go in and place this now. And those are the last two blocks that we have, so anytime we have gaps like this, I'm keeping in mind the fact that we have the stone to place in as well. So I don't want to leave giant gaps like this. I'll try to close them up as much as possible. But I think that was actually a pretty good number, going down to the mid-30s. Of course, we have the most tough place down right now. But now if we go in and place our stone, I'm not going to put it into every gap, just still kind of space it out a little bit. But we'll try to get down to that mid-30s number, and then after that, I typically go in and decide what blocks would fit in best in different places. And that's just based on how much texture is around it. So right here we have a lot of rough textures. We'll place a normal stone block right there. Maybe one right there as well. Get another one in there. Maybe one right there. And then we will do a few more stone bricks. Again, I'm just trying to get it to match all the numbers to be the same across the board. And we'll do cobblestone right there. A little bit more andesite, maybe even another coarse dirt sprinkled in from time to time. There we go. That is not bad. I think things are coming together quite nicely. And of course, occasionally we will have 3 blocks that are all connected. It doesn't really bother me all that much. As long as it is random enough across the whole path, then those smaller sections really go unnoticed. Let's get another cobblestone right there. Let's do maybe a tough block right there. And the other thing about the tough is it adds a little bit more shading, I guess. The tough is darker than all of the rest of the blocks, so anytime that there's a bright part of the path, I like to put a tough in and kind of even things out a little bit. We'll go in with a few more stone bricks. I used to place stairs and slabs in some of these gaps, but that is very time consuming, and that's more of something that we go back and do it later on. So we would come back here with some stone brick stairs or cobblestone stairs and then go through and break them individually and just add some of those in like that. Let's do a cobblestone right there, gravel, maybe some andesite, a couple blocks here and there. I think we need another tuff right there, maybe some more cobblestone, and we're just about there. We'll get a few more stone blocks into place, a couple more andesite blocks, Maybe another gravel, one right there, and one right there. And we will finish it off with one more andesite. So there we go. Oh, a couple more blocks right over here. We don't want to do cobblestone, we have a lot right in here, so we'll get a couple stone blocks and one more stone brick. But there we go. We now have our first stretch of path that takes us all the way across this flat section, and now we can start to work our way up towards the base of the mountain. Of course, we have this small hill. Now, in the video, you will see that I talked about having this all as the normal path that we've been doing. Once we get up here, it will start to narrow a little bit. Right here, this is where the path will start to contract a little bit, and then up here, it is just going to switch to a natural look. So no stone bricks, just stone, maybe some cobblestone, although cobblestone isn't really natural to the world. So probably just stone and maybe some tuff in there as well. But that will be a combination of stairs, slabs, and blocks. So it will still look like a path, but it is going to be very natural and really blend into the side of the mountain. So we will get started first on this path that goes up in that direction, and then we will switch over to the rest of it. With this, I like to follow the natural flow, the contours of the land, so I'm going to do this one row at a time, and I also like to keep count of how many blocks I've removed so I can roughly get a sense of how many of each type we need to place. So right here, we removed 20 blocks. Of course, we have 6 different types of blocks, so that is about 3 of every block. So now we can just go in and place 1, 2, 3, and then we will just kind of randomize this as we do that. And it will fill in quite nicely. So we need to do stone and andesite. We'll do 4 andesite and 4 stone. And that is easy as that. Right here, we are going to remove 7 blocks. So again, we are going to do 1 of each. We'll take out the shovel, get rid of the hoe. And this time, I think we will include a coarse dirt and just do 1 of each block. Again, trying to randomize it though, so that we don't have those blocks match up perfectly. We'll get 1 more gravel put into place right there, and onto the next row. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, about 20. I lost count with the instant mine on our shovel. But same thing as that first row, we're going to do about 3 of every block. A couple of them will have 4. There we go, maybe throw in a coarse dirt, why not? And then what are we missing? We need to do we did cobblestone, we need to do gravel. We'll do 1, 2, and 3 gravel, and a couple more blocks here in the front. We'll do another cobblestone and another smooth stone. In these gaps right here, well, that one, that's not right. That's coarse dirt. That's why I placed it down. I thought that was normal dirt. In some of those gaps, we will go in and add slabs and make it easier to walk up the path. For now, it's all about just getting the path into place, and we can work on those slabs a little bit later. We'll remove some of this grass, make it a little bit easier to see as we remove these blocks, and it looks like this is going to be about 20 again. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and exactly 20 on that. Do a couple coarse dirt on this, and that will give us room for 3 of every block. So really, it's just about randomly placing everything in, getting all of it to flow coherently. We doubled up on gravel. That's okay. Sometimes that happens. I tend to just leave it as is. We haven't done tuff. That's because our tuff got put away on accident. So we will place the tuff right back there. On to the next row. This one probably about 20 blocks again. So once again, we will do 3 of each of these blocks. maybe throw in a couple coarse dirt in the corners. We'll get one right there and one right over there, just to blend that landscape together. That is coarse dirt, so we don't want to cover that up. And it looks like we might actually do 2 of each block instead of 3. So we'll do a couple andesite, a couple tuff right in there, some gravel. We may even do a 3rd tuff since we missed it on that row. We'll get one more put into place there. A couple cobblestone, and did we get... what are we missing? I think we got everything. We'll do one more stone brick right there. So we are actually making pretty decent progress on this. Again, we are going to continue this pattern all the way up to right here. This is where we will switch to our normal, or to the natural path right here. It will switch right there. So we could actually get this into place real quick with our current path blocks, and then work our way down. That will give us a better idea, I think, of where we are at. So a couple stone right in there, a gravel, some tuff, some cobblestone, stone bricks, andesite, and there we go. And we will just continue working down now from the top. This time we'll throw in a coarse dirt, stone, stone brick, maybe a tuff block right there, gravel, and cobblestone. Right here, we may actually... we'll put in a couple more blocks right here just to even things out. We'll go with an andesite right there. That way we don't have those weird gaps. Like I said, we will go in and fill in the slabs later on, but I don't want to have anything that kind of sticks out at all like that. So we are going to remove any of those weird gaps. Do a tuff, cobblestone, get some coarse dirt put into place right there, some gravel, stone, stone bricks, a little bit more tuff, and a cobblestone. This is going to be a big section for us, so we will have to definitely count that out once we get to it. It's cobblestone, stone bricks. Let's do gravel and andesite. I'm also trying to keep track of where we are on our block counts. We are getting pretty low on stone. Of course, we have our shulker box. I just want to make sure that we are evenly using all of the blocks. So this is 5 blocks wide, and that is 4 blocks deep. So this section right here in the front is 20. And then right behind it, we have 8, 9, 10, 11. So 31 in total, about 5 of every block. I think we might be okay just using up everything that we have, or at least getting close to using up everything that we have. I think this is working pretty nicely for us. We already did andesite. We need to do gravel. We'll do a couple of those. And maybe a little bit more andesite here in the back. A couple more tuff in the front. Let's do gravel right there. One more right there. And maybe cobblestone right there. We are getting very close now, actually, to having this all finished. This one is going to be about 12 blocks, so 2 each. Let's go grab a little bit more resources overall. Some more stone, some more, well, more everything. We will just load up on all of it real quick. There we go. Back up to where we just were. I think this time we haven't used our coarse dirt in a while, so we will get one placed down right there. Andesite, stone, cobblestone, tuff. Let's go with gravel and stone bricks. andesite, and smooth stone. Looks like we have just 4 more rows, and then it will be time to start working on our trail. So this actually went pretty quickly, all things considered. I thought it was going to take a little bit longer than it has, but I'm glad it is moving right along for us. That one we're going to leave. We can get a slab put into place right there. And we have 6 across this one, so that will be pretty easy for us. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Simple as that. Let's do a coarse dirt right there in that corner. And get a couple more placed in right here. 2 more rows. We are just about there. And what are we missing? A smooth stone. There we go. All right, last one. Start with a couple cobblestone, some tuff, smooth stone, andesite, stone bricks, and gravel to finish it off. And there we go. So now we can go through and remove all of this netherrack. That will make things look a lot nicer. It's going to make the path look like it blends in to the natural landscape, since again, we did follow the contours of the land. That's why I like to place down the netherrack, as I said. Because now when we remove it, we will see, of course, sometimes on hills like this, the path is higher than the dirt. But generally speaking, it blends into the ground pretty well. So we will remove all of that. We have a full inventory. We can empty that into our shulker box over here. And go in. We really don't need all of this netherrack, but we will grab it anyway. And we can see we have a pretty good path. I think we will clean up a few of these blocks here along the edge, just so it's a bit more level. And I think we will fill in this right here. We will come back to that in just a moment, but we will fill that in, make that a bit more level as well. But I think that is a great look for us. Yeah, I think that works. We might do... I think we'll leave that be. If we put a grass there, then we're going to have a 2-block tall tower of dirt. We don't want to do that. We can put one right there. We'll get one there as well. And we will get just a little bit more of this netherrack removed here at the top. And then we will start to transition into that very natural looking stone path that almost looks like it is part of the mountain itself. That's the whole goal of it, to make it blend in so that we can't really see it when we are stepped back. So let's fill this in now. And I think we will just kind of go across with our grass here. We will fill this in all the way. We're not going to leave it hollow. I just like to start off with the grass that goes across the top. That way we can get a pretty good idea of how it all looks. And it's all about just making it look as natural as possible. Something like that. Maybe extend that out a couple more blocks. And then we will extend that across the bottom. Maybe that out one more. And then fill that in with grass. Get a couple more blocks here and there. I think that looks pretty nice. So now we can hop inside and fill all of this in. And we are doing this with other small holes and dips that we have in the mountain as we work our way up towards the top. I did talk about this in the start of the video that we are recording, that when we step away from the mountain, we really only see the big picture. We don't see all of those small dips. And we're not going to fill this in over here, but we will place a torch. That way we don't have any monsters spawning. So let's go grab some torches and get some sleep real quick. We will get that lit up. So there are a lot of caves underneath this mountain, and we will do the same thing. We will fill in the surface of them, block them off, but we will place torches underneath so that we don't have any mobs spawning and we don't have those mob sounds driving us crazy the entire time that we are trying to build. So let's drop back down in here. No mobs right now, that's a great sign. And we will get a few torches placed in. We don't have to explore this entire cave system, just a few close to the surface should suffice. And we will fill in from right here and get this covered up the rest of the way. This is good. We have a lot of grass that we need to get rid of anyway. So the more terraforming that we do with it, the better. And we are 2 grass short here at the very end. We will get that filled in momentarily. We could even grab a couple from right here since we will be replacing that with some stone here in just a few minutes. So now let's fly up and just get a sense of how this looks. It should look pretty good. It should fit in with the rest of the world here. We'll turn around and pause. And there are definitely some fluctuations in the width of the path. Of course, right here, it kind of widens a little bit, but I think we will eventually branch that off in that direction anyway. So that's going to work out for us, but I think that works pretty well. Of course, I wanted to make it as straight as possible, but not have it look unnatural. So we have a few bends, and it kind of follows along with the land. So now, I did talk about this a little bit in that video. The way this is going to work is the path will start right here, it will go up and kind of curve right there and go around. Now obviously this side of the mountain is very steep, and really the mountain as a whole is very steep. So what we are going to do is have our trail follow along this ridge right here. Once it gets to this area that's a little bit flatter, it will turn and we will have some switchbacks that go back across the top, and they will just continue up right to about here where the mountain actually gets fairly level, and we can set up some sort of base camp, or I guess not base camp, a summit camp, I guess. This is where the snow will roughly come to. It's going to be a little bit lower, but we will have buildings right here. So by the time we get up here, all of this will probably be man-made paths, so we don't have to worry about those switchbacks or trails. But in the meantime, we do need to fill in some of these holes and caves, just level out the ground a little bit more. We are also going to do these two right here. This one actually leads all the way down into our tunnel that we have for our bubble column. So that is a ways down there. And we will cover this up right here, I think, or we may even leave it open and turn it into some kind of icy cavern. I think that could be a fun touch as well. We will decide when we get to that point. For now, though, I think we will start on this path. And again, it is going to just look very, very natural. We are going to be using really primarily just stone. I don't really want to use anything else. We might sprinkle in some andesite, so we will grab a little bit of that out. But cobblestone isn't all that natural. We don't want to do gravel. We're not going to really find that much gravel up there anyway. And the tuff, we're a little bit high up for the tuff. So we will put all of those items away. Stone bricks obviously are not natural. So we will carve some of our andesite and some of our stone. We'll make some stairs, some slabs out of each of these. And we will use our blocks as well. So up to the mountain we go. And we will get started right here with clearing away some of this dirt. Now we will have some cliffs and things like that, like this, just kind of naturally as we build this. That's okay, that's gonna happen. I'm not too worried about that. So we're gonna do a nice variation here of stairs, slabs, and blocks, just to really blend this in to the mountain. Just like that, and I want it to look as rugged and as mountainous as possible. So the more blocks, stairs, and slabs that we have, I think the better. Something like this. Of course, I still want to make it easy to navigate. We will probably rarely use this path as a means of getting to the top, but it is still fun to have it nonetheless. Now obviously right here this isn't going to look all that natural simply because we still have a lot of grass, so when we start to remove some of this netherrack, it will be pretty clear that we have a stone path going up along the edge of the mountain right there. But once we do start to get into some of these steeper cliffs and some of those sections, it will start to look very natural and a lot more fitting, I suppose. So we will have it start to bend around. We will place in our first andesite right there. Again, we are using that very sparingly. I don't want to overdo it. And it will turn just like this. I want to make it look as windy as possible. But again, easy to navigate. That's the name of the game with this. So we'll do maybe another andesite right there. A stone block, and a slab right up top. Now, of course, that we can't really get up if we walk straight into it, but when we come around the corner, that stair will aid us in getting up right there. We'll do another slab right here. I thought that was andesite. Where are our... There they are. I was wondering where those went. We'll do an andesite slab right here. And a couple more. Let's do andesite, and then a stone block there and there. Some stone stairs, and we'll remove a little bit more of this netherrack as well. So I think that is actually a pretty good start for us. Underneath some of the stone, we can go in and replace that with normal stone. Underneath the path, I mean, we will replace that with some normal stone. Same thing right here, although this is probably going to get covered up here pretty soon. But I think that is a great start for us. It definitely has a nice curve around this edge, and it will, again, continue up. It's going to be flat right here. This is where our first ridge, and that is why we are building this, our first switchback will go right across there. Before we get to that, though, let's make sure we don't have a thunderstorm, and it looks like we are safe. But before we get to that, we need to do some more of that terraforming. So let's grab some dirt, and let's grab some grass. And of course we have plenty of each of those. So lots of dirt and lots of grass. There we go. And back to the job site. Yeah, so right now you can hardly even see the path. And again, that is what we are going for. Having it blend in as much as possible. We'll just start filling in this crater right here. No cave associated with this one, so we don't need to worry about lighting anything up. There we go. Fill that in just a little bit more. And now we can start to work on making this look a bit more natural. Get some more dirt going across right there. Excellent. And we are out of dirt, so we will switch over to grass to finish this up. I think we will leave that as it is. Extend that going across. Turn that. Get a couple more right in here. And I do hear a zombie. It's probably... Oh, there he is. I thought that was in a cave. So we will take him out real quick. And back to it. And it looks like we're just about out of grass too. So that was a lot more to fill in than I thought it was going to be. Oh no, we still have another stack. There we go. A couple more blocks right there. And I think that should be good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Of course, right here, this is where we might have that icy cavern, and we will leave that as it is. So now, back to the path. And this is where our netherrack block markers have ended. So from here on out, we are just left to our imagination. I think we will turn this right here, kind of hug the mountain, I suppose. And then it will come back out. I want to leave as much of the cliffside as possible, so we're not going to remove stuff like this if we don't have to. And in this case, I certainly think we can leave it alone. Now we will have to build out some of the cliff right here and have that look a little bit more natural. Otherwise, we're just going to have all of this floating stone. So we will go back in eventually and change all of that out. But again, right now, it's just about getting all of this into place. I think we are going to leave that gap alone. Again, this path doesn't have to follow any OSHA regulations or anything like that. It is a path on the side of a mountain. There is a little bit of danger involved in hiking this. So this is going to cut across right here, switch back right up there, probably all the way up to here, and then go across, maybe switch back one more time, and then again, we end up in that flat region. So we will have about 3 switchbacks in total. And that sun's about to set, so we can sleep off this rain. That will be very nice. But actually, this is going a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. We have a cow right down here. We'll help him out of this hole so that we can get it covered up and lit up. Get a torch right in there. And fill all of this in right down here. There we go. Alright, so the rain will go away. Another zombie from the cave will come chasing after us. We'll just take him out real quick. And I do also want to fill in, we have this interesting generation right here of the dirt, these weird gaps in the side of the mountain. We are going to fill that in as well, just underneath all of this grass. As cool as it is, I just don't think it fits the natural look of this mountain a whole lot. There we go. That's a little bit better, I think. Yeah, that looks a bit more natural. We still have a couple more that we missed right down here. Do we have a cave? Oh no, just more. I think it was a wannabe cave that didn't quite generate all the way. There we go. So that is all covered up now. Let's head back up here and work on that first ridge along this side. So I don't think we will gain any elevation on these switchbacks. I think we are just going to keep them flat, level like this. And some of these grass blocks we will remove for the path. After all, it is hugging the side of the mountain as much as possible. So the more that we can leave, the better. We'll do one right there. Is this too narrow? I'm trying to figure out if maybe we want to extend that out by one more. If we do, though, the grass that we have to fill in will be extended out a lot more as well. So I think we will actually leave it narrow like this. If we wanted to, we could do some upside down stone stairs. Maybe one there and another one right there. Let's do one here and one right there. That way we get sort of a natural look to it. Something like that. And we can start to fill in with our dirt underneath those stone blocks. So that will help to widen the path a little bit, but then we won't have issues. Yeah, I think that works. Then we won't have issues with the path itself being too narrow. We need to get one more right up there. So let's get that placed in. There we go. And now we can return right back up here again. We have that nice flat area. We might even do one right there as well. So there are some narrow spots. I don't want to do stairs on every single one, but just have a good variety. Now here's the real question right here. Do we remove these blocks or work around them? I think we will remove them. That way we have a bit more of a cliffside next to us. I think it will feel a little bit more rugged. We'll remove this dirt as well. We are just about finished with this first ridge. And that's actually going to give us a really wide path as well. If we do one more stair right there, that's pretty good. So now we don't even have to go in and fill in dirt underneath any of those blocks. So let's get a few more stone blocks right in here. And our first switchback will come right here, where it will turn. We may even go, and now we have a baby zombie. These caves are just generating all kinds of mobs today. Let's get in here and get some torches placed down. Very expansive cave, that's for sure. Again, we don't have to light up the whole thing. I just want to make sure we don't have any mobs spawning near the surface where we might be able to hear them. Alright, so that will take care of that. We are going to get this covered up, actually. We will do that now before we get all the way over here with our path. It'll make it a little bit easier to work on those switchbacks, I think. Having an actual cliffside to work on instead of an open cave. So we'll do something like this. But what I was thinking is maybe the switchback can happen all the way over here. That will give us a little bit more altitude, because then we can work on the second ridge all the way up here instead of having it right here. So we get a couple more blocks in elevation. We'll fill this in as well from about right there. There we go. And we'll just level all of that out. We are out of grass. Once again, that's not a problem. By the time we get up here, we should have a lot more. But I think that's what we will do. We will extend this path all the way out to here. We'll leave that dirt right there. I think we will only remove the dirt if it is 1 block tall. If it's 2 blocks or taller, we will leave it be. So this one, for example, we'll remove that. And we will remove all of that as well. There we go. Just fill that in all the way along there. And we may just continue it all the way out to this side before turning and going back up. Now this is too steep to scale. I mean, not really. We can easily get up it as it is, but for the path, I think that's a little bit too steep to get up, so I think we will have the ridge happen before that. And we are out of stone now, although we do have a lot more grass from all of that. I told you we would get that grass supply back up, so let's get some more stone here. We're still doing good on our stairs and slabs, we just need some more blocks. We can probably empty our inventory a little bit while we are down here as well. There we go. So we will just once again continue to follow along the side of the cliff here, and then I think we'll go to right here and then start to turn. There we go. Fill that stone in. And now we will start to turn this and go up. So let's get a stone block right there. One right there. Let's do a slab. We'll do a stair right there. Full block. Another stair. Not a firework, a stair. We might even do a slab right there as well. Maybe a stair. That's pretty steep, but I think that's kind of what we are dealing with in this part of the path, so I think that will actually work out for us. So we'll do a slab right there. Stone block. Clear away some of this, get a couple more stairs, maybe a slab. Another stair. Block right there. And now it will start to slowly turn back in on itself. Let's see, how do we want to do this? We could do a slab right there, bring that up to a full block, turn both of these into andesite. We need to pull out our andesite blocks. There we go. Turn that into andesite. Maybe get one more slab right here. Turn that into andesite. So again, it is very steep along here, but we are making it work. And then a stone block, another block right there. Let's go with andesite, stone. Maybe we do slabs right here. There's definitely a lot more thought that goes into this than when working on our path. But I think it is working for us. I want to round this off a little bit more right here and maybe clear away some of that dirt. And I think we are going to try to go to about right here, and then we will go back to our second ridge. We'll clear a few more blocks away from here. I think this is where we will aim to have our next layer of stone. Just like that. So we need to connect this path to right up there. I think we will be able to make that work. It's going to be steep, but I think it will work. So we will do a stone block there, one more right here. Those will probably get covered up with stairs and slabs, but that's okay. And I think we are going to make this work. Stone stair. We could do one right here. A couple andesite blocks, a slab. We could even turn this stair sideways and get one more block placed in right there. Let's round this off a little bit more with one more stone slab, one more block of andesite, and get some stone underneath these two blocks right there. I think that works perfectly. Again, it's very steep, it's very rugged. We might extend that dirt out a little bit more, but it is a trail on the side of a mountain, so I think that will work. Although, what if we remove this layer right here and have another slab? Let's do slabs like that, and then have a stair right there, another slab, a couple more right there, and remove some of this dirt as well. Because we can also remove that dirt. That will give us a little bit more space to work with on this side. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. Alright, let's go get some sleep, and then we can fly up and take a look at that from a bird's eye view. So let's fly up here. Go ahead and pause the game. I think that is a pretty good start. It's not nearly as rounded as this. I think that is really, really nice. That is very fluid with the terrain. That one's a bit more rugged, but again, we are on the side of that mountain now. We definitely need to do some cleaning up with how that all looks. Maybe get a few more stairs put into place, texture that a little bit more, and maybe a little bit more stone underneath the path instead of having just dirt. But that will then go back, although that gets pretty steep, so maybe by the time we get here, it will kind of work its way up a little bit, but then still continue around. I'm not really sure where we're going to be able to switch back on this, though. Maybe right around there. That looks like a pretty level spot for another ridge, so I think we might go for something like that. We may even go in and build this ridge first before working on the switchback. That way, again, we can have that goal spot in mind where we want to end up with that switchback. I think it will make it a little bit easier to work with. So we'll fill in primarily with stone, and then we will go in, fill some andesite, and we will just go all the way across to the end. I think we'll start by removing the grass that's on this level, and then we'll go in and do the rest of it. So to about right here. Something like this. I think that will work for us. And then again, this will continue over to about right here, and that will be smooth enough to get us up to this level. So let's bring this over now. Lots of grass that we can remove away from here, widen the path a little bit, make it easier to walk. Of course, the higher up we go, the higher risk we have of snow and ice and dangerous conditions, so we definitely want to make the path a little bit safer the closer to the top that we get. I think that is perfect. Is it better to go up? That gets pretty steep over here, so I think we will end up turning it right here and going up in this direction. We can even do that now. Starting with some stone stairs and slabs. And I think we have stone stairs, we have andesite stairs, andesite slabs, stone blocks. We need some more andesite blocks. We will go grab those real quick. Do we have any more? We do not. We will have to make some. It is cobblestone and diorite, which we do not have any diorite on us. So let's run back. I don't think we have a whole lot. Actually, I take that back. We should have some andesite in our storage, but it's one of my preferred building blocks. We do have a few in there. Definitely one of my preferred building blocks, so it is often empty inside of that chest. And it is looking very natural. Of course, it looks like we have layers in the mountain, which I think is a really cool look. But it certainly blends in. So I think we will go up right here. We will just clear away some of this dirt. Try to fit this last stretch of the path into the natural landscape. And then this is where, again, the top of the path will be. So we are getting very close. Let's get a stair. Let's do a stair right here. Some stone. We could do a slab. There we go. Something like that. I think that works. Although that is a lot of andesite, more than we've used in the past, so we will even that out with a little bit more stone here. That's a little bit better, maybe one more slab right there. We could even go 3 wide on this path. Like we talked about before, these conditions are a lot more dangerous up towards the summit, so the easier the path is to navigate, the better. And we will just finish this off with a few more stairs and slabs here. We could even do an andesite stair right there, and a stone stair there. Maybe another one right there. There we go, I kind of like that. Let's do one more stair, one more block, another slab, and a few more stone blocks right in here to finish this off. And there we go, I think the path is now finished. Do we want to get a couple more slabs on here? I think we will replace this with a stair. So that is pretty easy to navigate all the way up to the top. We still have a couple of gaps right here that we will replace with some stairs. And then this one right here, we'll get that replaced with all of our stone. There we go. So now all we have left is the ridge that goes across right here, and the final switchback that will be all the way in this direction, right back here, however that will work. It's not going to be easy, but I think we can make it happen. That is a big altitude to gain in a short slope, a steep slope, but I think we are going to make it work. Of course, first things first, just getting this ridge built all the way to that side. We will level this off a little bit here, not a whole lot. And continue all of our stone in this direction. There we go. So we are just about there on this one. And this is the tricky part, figuring out how to navigate around this. Because it does get very steep right there, we don't want to have too big of a drop along that cliff. So I'm wondering if maybe we start to extend the path up just a little bit right here with a stair, a slab, and a couple more blocks. I think this might be the best way to do it. That way we can turn it before we get to this steep section right here. So we'll get another stair placed down right there. One more there as well. Replace that with a couple andesite blocks. Yeah, I think this is going to work out because now we can just continue this on. I know I really don't want to remove too many of those blocks along the side of the cliff, but I think we are going to have to get this to work. And then it should level off a little bit more right here. There we go, and now we can start to turn this and have it match up here at the top. So we did make this work out. I think this is going to look really nice. We have some bats that want to check it out as well. Alright, sorry about that. We had a little bit of a hiccup with the stream, but we should be good now. So we will just turn this right here, work our slabs going up, and we want to end up roughly right here. Let's see if we can make that happen. This does get pretty steep, but I think with a couple stairs and a slab right there, I think we can get this to work. There we go. Is that going to work? I think it will. Let's do a couple more blocks here on the outside just to level that off a little bit. But I think that will work for us. Let's maybe replace that underneath. Get one more stone right in there. And we can pretty easily get up that. So I think that is going to work. And I think it follows a pretty good curve. Once again, let's fly away and take a look at all of this from up above now, just to see how it has all turned out. Hey, look at that. I think that is really nice. Again, some of it needs refining. We have that very consistent pattern right here. I want that to look a little bit more natural, and we will do that by just landscaping underneath and around that a little bit more. That way it follows a bit more of a curve like that. But overall, I think that works really nicely for us. We have a few switchbacks, makes it pretty easy to get up, and I'd say it actually looks pretty natural, as if it's sort of like how you would see a path on a tall mountain like this. And of course it blends in very nicely with the mountain itself. I do like those layers. I think that looks pretty cool. But now we are going to take a break from that. We are going to transition into covering the entire mountain with snow. So we can put all of these materials away. We no longer need any of those, any of the stone. Actually, we may hang on to some of the dirt and grass for terraforming. But generally speaking, we just want snow. So let's head up here. We are going to start by finding the edge of the plains, the edge of the meadow. Didn't mean to take a screenshot there. And we are going to work our way down right to where it transitions into the plains biome, which should be right here. So I think we will do everything above this path. We will do that with snow. So we will start to replace all of these grass blocks with snow right here. Now we're not actually going to replace most of them. I just want to do the ones right here up against the path. That way we don't actually cover up the path. But this will go all the way around at least the side of the mountain that is visible to us from the valley. And we are going to start by just outlining this at this level, going all the way around. We will add some variations, that way it doesn't look like the snow just stops once it gets up here. So we will have some of the snow drift a little bit lower, but generally speaking, this is where the line of the snow will be. And we are just going to cover all of this grass going all the way around on this level with snow. And that's a lot of zombies in there. Huh. I guess we found another cave that we need to light up. So let's quickly take all of them out. There we go. I wonder if we have a spawner in here. That would be something else. Although I think we are a little bit high up for a spawner. I think it is just dark. We do have a few emerald ores, actually. We will grab those here in a second. And it looks like a dead end in that direction. So let's grab these emerald ores. Nice, we got 3 of them. Spectacular. And now let's get back to our snow business. I guess we can get a few more torches down here as well. So we will come back and terraform this later. For now, I just want to get this row of snow placed all the way around. So it will be right here. And again, initially, it's not going to look all that natural. We're going to have just a line of snow, and everything above it is going to be snow covered. But we're going to go back in, and we're going to make it look sort of like this mountain over here. You can see that the snow kind of dips down in some places and rises up in other places. That is how we are going to do this. Now, we could go in and just cover every block that is meadow biome with snow, but I think that will take more time than it's worth. So we will just stick to doing it like this. And I know I said we were only covering up the side that faces the valley, but I think we will go to about right here, and then just cover up this front side. So now we will just make a line right here. This is where we will try to have all of it covered up by the end of the stream today. That will go across right here. We have another cave in the mountain as well. And then, of course, we get into our natural snow here at the top. Now, I think we are just going to cover the tops of the grass blocks. I don't think we are going to cover up the sides. Again, that will help make it look more natural. If we were to cover the entire thing, that would look a little bit strange. Of course, over there, some of those blocks are completely covered, but I think having some of the dirt exposed helps with the natural look. Once we get more towards the top, I think up here we will cover it a little bit more, but as we work our way up, there's not nearly as much snowpack down closer to the base. So that is why we are only covering up on top of the grass, not the sides. We will remove a lot of these flowers as well. We'll be able to use it for landscaping our path later on. So it is going to take a while, but I do think it is going to be worth it. At some point, we are going to have to go out and get a little bit more snow, but we will worry about that later on. Once we run out of this snow. I think we will just get it from our quarry, since we have all of those snowy peaks. In fact, that is where we've gotten most of these snow blocks that we have right now, just from removing the snow that was at those mountains that we are mining up. So that should work out for us. Of course, we don't need a beacon for it. Our shovel will instant mine snow, which is great. Now right here, some of these smaller gaps, we are just going to cover those up and fill them in just like that. It is nice to work with some of these colder blocks, though, as the seasons change. Of course, we've been doing a lot of seasonal work down in our spooky area, I guess, of the world with our carved pumpkin and graveyard. Next year, I think we will do a haunted house. I was going to do one this year, but decided not to since we did the creative haunted house, that very large one. I was actually initially designing that for this world, but then it ended up being so large I don't think it would have really fit in. I think it would have been even larger than our copper house right there, and we would have had a house the size of the museum, and the scale just would have been off for all of that. But next year, we will definitely do a haunted house down there. I wanted to get this going though, that way we have something to work on as we get a little bit closer to Christmas. I think it's fun to have some festive holiday buildings right up here. Santa's workshop and all different kinds, toy stores, all different kinds of stuff like that. Now, of course, this feels like we have been working on the snow and covering up a lot of it for a pretty good chunk of time now, but what we will see when we fly away is we have hardly even scratched the surface of this. We've done about that much of covering this mountain. We still have all of this right here and all of this right down there. In fact, we can now go back down here and get the rest of this line put in to the other side before we run out of snow. Well, that's not going to happen. We have 23 blocks of snow left. But we will do what we can. Looks like it will get us pretty much to the end of the path right here. And yes, the perfect amount. So it is time to go get some more snow. Let's clean out our inventory. Let's grab a few shulker boxes and let's head off to the quarry and start digging up snow. We could source it from over here or some of our other local peaks, but again, I've given this lecture in the past. I want to preserve all of our local landscape and tear up far away in case we expand nearby, which I do think eventually we will. So 2 shulker boxes right there, that should be plenty of space for us. And I think we have everything else that we need. A pretty empty inventory. Our shovel is pretty well mended. And of course, let's take an ender chest with us. We do have one out there. I forget if we have a beacon. We actually have 6 beacons. I don't know when we made the 6th, but we do have 6 of them now. And we also have enough wither skeleton skulls to spawn in another wither. So if we wanted to go out and get 7, we certainly could. And then again, we need some firework rockets. We'll grab those out. And be on our way through our newly designed nether portal. Alright, so our quarry is going to be up here on the roof, on our ice highway, since it is very far away. I haven't really touched our nether hub since last week's live stream. I probably should start working on planning that out a little bit more so we can continue to build that up. But we are just going to leave that on the back burner right now. We don't really need it for anything at the moment. The ice highway is definitely doing all of the laborious work that we have on our plate. And here we are, back at almost the quarry. Takes a couple extra firework rockets to get to our portal. Not a problem. I guess we really didn't need the beacon. We don't have one set up right here, but we don't even need it. As you can see though, there is a lot of snow here for us, which is fantastic. We might even throw on some leather boots. I don't know if powdered snow is going to be a problem for us today. If we can find some cows though and get some leather, we'll make some leather boots. I don't want to. Of course, the powdered snow isn't that dangerous to us. It's just kind of annoying. But I'm not seeing any cows in the area, so I think we will just be mindful. This is a really cool region, though. And that's quite the waterfall as well. Let's fly up here and just admire the view for a second. How high is my render distance right now? Is it above 12? Oh, 20. Well, that would explain it. But that is very nice. Pretty soon, none of these mountains will be here, most likely, if we need that much stone. But even sooner than that, a lot of this snow will no longer be here. Let's go ahead and get started on that right away. And in doing this, we will also expose a lot of gravel, coal, iron, hopefully even some andesite. I don't know if we are getting andesite all the way up here though. And of course emeralds. We are going to be exposing a lot of emeralds underneath all of the snow. And speaking of, we will never pass those up. Now the top snow, the snow caps, we are just going to get rid of those. We don't need them cluttering up our inventory, and we don't really need them for anything else anyway. Actually, we may hang on to them, but we will not be using them on the mountain. The biggest thing here, of course, is keeping an eye on our shovel's durability. That can definitely escape us, so we want to keep a close eye on that and make sure it doesn't get too low. So far, no powdered snow, which I guess is a good sign. Knock on wood here. I'm sure we will turn the corner and there will be some waiting for us. Usually it's actually pretty easy to spot once your eyes get adjusted to the snow. Especially considering the fact that it kind of looks like that tree does over there with no snow on top of it, because the top snow, the snow caps, don't actually land on the powdered snow. So that's a pretty easy way to identify that. But we are already up to about the amount of snow that we started with. Of course, that lasted us about 15 minutes before we ran out of it. But it is nonetheless a great start. So we will pick up a lot of this, empty it into our shulker box, and then just continue on with this process. We'll go right over here to this nice grassy area. So 11 stacks so far. That is a great start for us. And we will get right back to it. All of these lush caves remind me, I do eventually want to spend time on a stream just trying to get a blue axolotl. I think that would be really, really cool if we got one. Of course, it's one of the rarest, if not the rarest mob in the game, if I'm not mistaken. We are not going to do that today, of course, but eventually I want to just load up on fish and just breed those axolotls non-stop until we have a blue one. It will probably be a few streams before we actually get there, but it is definitely fun to try for that. Of course, the more axolotls we have, the quicker it will go to get to that point. Alright, so we are up to about, with what we have in the shulker box, about 16 stacks of snow blocks now. So we are getting there slowly but surely. And we can always come back here for more later on. The more that we can get at once, though, the better. So I think we will try to fill up our 2 shulker boxes before heading back. We are definitely making a nice dent here on the side of this mountain. They will definitely have a pretty cool look once all of this snow is gone. I'm not too concerned about getting all of the snow that drops here. As long as we are getting the bulk of it, that's all that really matters. Our shovel is still doing great on durability. And our inventory is still doing good as well. And still no powdered snow, so we are having a great success with all of this. All the way almost above the clouds up here. I'm trying to remember if our mountain that we are going to be building our North Pole on is above the clouds or not. I know we get launched above the clouds with our wind charge booster. I think it might be slightly below. I don't think it's quite that tall. We will find out when we go back. And now we have a full inventory, so let's plop down our shulker box, load a little bit more snow into there, grab everything that we missed right around here, munch on some baked potatoes. Gotta stay warm up here somehow. We will get the rest of that added in there, so that chest, that shulker box is just about full. Just a few more stacks for that, and then we will move on to the second one. And I want to try to stay in these areas that are very compact with snow. I don't really want to do stuff like this where the snow is all diagonal from each other and kind of lopsided. It's better if we can just go in a single path just like this. I think that is a little bit quicker, a little bit more efficient for us. And I'm amazed that these lush caves are generating all the way up here at Y189. That is really something else. Do we have any axolotls up here? It looks like it's just clay. But that must be a very impressive lush cave that we have down below us, because these lush caves are expanding all across these mountain ranges. It almost makes me wonder, since the ancient cities have a higher chance of generating under mountains, it makes me wonder if there's an ancient city below our feet. I wonder if we could maybe find, once we get this shulker box filled, we will see if we can find a cave opening and see if there's an ancient city down there. I'm sure at the very least there is a deep dark biome. But whenever you have a deep dark biome below a mountain biome, typically that's pretty likely that there is gonna be an ancient city down there as well. Not that we need the loot from it or anything, but they are always fun to explore. Alright, we have a nice large snowy patch right over here. We will grab all of this. And of course, a lot of that is dirt. So full inventory again. Let's load up the rest of the snow into there. Grab that shulker box. Plop down this one and fill that up a little bit more. We can throw away some of these items. We really don't need the rooted dirt, gravel, or the dirt or grass. We'll just let that hang out over there and despawn. And let's go find a cave opening. Let's see if we can get down underground and see what this whole lush cave system is all about. That is not a cave opening, but it is part of this whole lush cave system. No axolotls down here. We want to look closer to the ground. Here we go. Here is a cave opening. I see some lava down here. I don't know how big this will open up, but it looks like that is going to go down quite a ways. So we will make and... oh no, that is a trial chamber. That's not an ancient city. Of course, we could still have one even further down, but how about that? That is something else. We will have to come back to this in a video. That is really cool. But I do want to go a little bit below this. We're actually going to screenshot the coordinates of that. That way we have it. Yes, here we go. We have a deep dark, no shocker here. And I'm sure we will have some skulk shriekers around here as well. So we just want to be very quiet. We will get down to the ground over here. A little bit of a sidetrack from what we've been working on. But I think we deserve a break at this point. We're going to break that block. It's going to trigger that sensor, but it looks like we are okay. No shriekers in the area. I just want to see if there's an ancient city. That is all I want to know. We're not going to raid it or anything right now or today or anytime in the future for that matter. But again, just knowing that there's one down here is a little bit more fun. And that is a dead end. Let's try up in this direction. Of course, we are still very high up. We are at -1 right now, so I'm thinking maybe if we just dig down right here, we might staircase. That might be a little bit easier. Alright, we have a few more blocks right down here. Or another cave opening. Is that where we just were? This is where we just were. Let's just continue our staircase down in this direction. I apologize to anyone who got really excited about seeing me cover a mountain with snow, and instead we are exploring a deep dark right now. Don't worry, the snow will be coming back. Right after we step through here and just either confirm the fact that we have an ancient city or prove that we don't. I think we're starting to get down a little ways, -21 now. I think if we don't have one here in the next few blocks, then we're probably just not going to have one, period. We'll do a little bit more staircasing. Yeah, I don't think we are going to end up with one, at least right here. I'm sure there is an ancient city or two in this mountain range somewhere. I would bet money on that. It just doesn't happen to be right here, because we are now down to -49, so there's definitely no ancient city right here. I don't think we had any shriekers through here either. Doesn't look like we do, thankfully. So we came in from over here. Probably should have placed down some torches just to keep track of where we were. And I think it was over in this direction to get out. So no ancient city down here. Again, oh, we do have some diamonds though. We will definitely grab lots of diamonds. All right, we will grab all of these. So I guess it wasn't a total bust right here. We got some precious gems to take back with us. And we just have to figure out our way out of here. That's just glow lichen. Are we going to have to just dig our way out? This opens up. Okay, here we go. This is a little bit more of this lush cave, and there, okay, this is where we came in from. There is that trial chamber that we will visit later on. We will be back here to check that out. That is really cool though, how that just kind of formed right down here. Uh-oh. I don't know how that happened. I think we're just gonna have to fly all the way out here. It looks like we have a pretty clear shot all the way out to the sky through some of that lava. We'll fly down here into this waterfall and cool off. Alright, so now we need to find our base camp, which I see a mountain that is completely leveled right over here. So we will fly over here, get some sleep, and get back to digging up snow. I don't think we need to get sidetracked by searching for any more ancient cities. As fun as it is, we will return to that later on. So this looks like a very nice flat area right over here that we can get a lot of snow in a short period of time. So we are going to do that, remove all of this snow, and then that should be enough for us to head back home and finish up that mountain. Of course, we have a bit more full of an inventory now with all of those diamonds. We can get rid of some of the skulk and things like that. We do have another cave opening right down there, and again, as tempting as it is, we are just going to skip that for today. If we have time at the end of the stream, I think we will maybe revisit it. I was worried that all of this snow over here might just be grass covered with the top snow, but it looks like we've lucked out, and again, a few more emeralds, so we are really loading up on diamonds and emeralds right now. I see a few more over there as well. Of course, they are all over these mountains. It's just nice to have them. I am keeping an eye on that shovel durability, but we should have enough to get a second shulker box full of snow. I think we're getting close to a full inventory here. Alright, let's see what we are at. Little over half full in that one. Perfect. Still no powdered snow anywhere, which amazes me. I haven't seen any powdered snow anywhere in this entire mountain range, which I think is kind of unusual, actually. Just grab the rest of this from up here. Run around and pick up all of the snow that we missed up top. There we go. Alright, that should be pretty close now to having that shulker box completely full. Let's have a look inside of here. And we need, it looks like, 5 more stacks. Alright, we'll get this last little bit right up here, and that will probably be good. We'll run around and grab all of these snow blocks. We'll get some of those emerald ores as well, just so we don't lose them. Grab that one. We'll head over here and grab this one. And I think we should have enough to fill up that shulker box now. We sure do. Actually, we just need a couple more. 1 and 2. There we go. We'll get that thrown into there. And 2 shulker boxes full of snow. Let's make our way home and get back to work on this mountain. Real quick. I can't resist. We have to go down here and see what we have at the bottom of this cave. If anything, because it could just be a dead end, and it looks like that is actually the case. Looks like the water just kind of cuts off right there at the bottom, and I don't think we need to get lost in here, I say, as we start getting lost in here. That's not going to lead to anywhere. Alright, we are going to head home and finish up snow covering our mountain. But that was a very successful trip for sure, and it's nice to have a source of snow far enough away from our home that we can get in bulk. Of course, there are snow machines that we could make to get snow, like using snow golems, but of course, every time we get snow from them, that is just giving us a snowball. It's not actually giving us a snow block. And we have to craft all of those snowballs into blocks, and that is a 4-to-1 ratio, so our shovel is way less efficient in all of that than just coming out here and getting those blocks. Plus we get emeralds as a byproduct, which is always great. We really need to build a staircase right here. We probably should have done that in the last episode, since we were redesigning our portal frame from the overworld. Alright, so let's head over to our mountain once again. We can see that line of snow right up against our trail right here. So we will step up here. And before we get back to this, we are just going to take a quick break. I'm gonna get some water, and we will be right back here to continue covering this mountain in snow. I will see all of you real soon. And we are back, so it is time to get to work on our snow, or get back to work on our snow. We have our 2 shulker boxes filled with snow blocks. We are going to pull out as many as we can hold, even clean up our inventory a little bit in the process. There we go. And we are going to get to work on this. Again, just covering up all of these grass blocks. Once again, just as before, we are only covering the tops of the blocks. We are not actually going to cover the sides. We will go back and cover some of the sides as we get closer to the summit, but for now, we are just going to cover the top of the grass. It'll look a little bit more natural that way. This hopefully shouldn't take us too long. It's definitely a lot easier than working on the path because we are just placing blocks on top of anywhere where we see green. The path took a little bit more planning, thoughtful planning, I suppose. Maybe we should just bring our bed up to the top. Of course, when the bed is down here and we have to get back up to the top, that gives us an excuse to use this device right over here. Let's hop in here and up we go, way above the clouds. Also, I guess to answer my own question from earlier, the clouds are a little bit above the top of the mountain here. So we are not in the clouds, but we are close. We could build a building that is above them. So is this where... Yes, this is where the bottom is. So let's just continue that going around right here. We're going to extend that line over so we know where the snow stops. And we are just going to extend this out to about right here on the side. We'll do these 4 blocks right there. And I think that is a great place to stop right up against the cave. We will have to go in and terraform that as well in just a moment. But we will build this all the way up to the top where we already have our existing snow. I guess we could go all the way out to here, sort of the farthest out point. And we'll do something like this, stop right about here, and focus on everything in front of this line all the way around to the other side. And that is a very big cave opening. We may just have to leave that exposed and, again, work with some snow and ice, sort of like a crevasse. We could have some ladder bridges and things like that too, if we wanted. But I think we'll just try to work our way from the top down. That is proving to be a little bit easier, I think. And I'm sure we will miss some large sections or blocks of grass. That's okay, we can always go back in and fill it in later on. Of course, it is very tempting to cover up the sides of some of this dirt, but that might take away from that natural look. We only want to do that towards the very top, where the snow would be heaviest, not down here. Also, we may actually play around with... The commands are enabled on this world, so we may play around with the snow accumulation height. I think that could be pretty fun as well. That way we can get more than a single layer of snow on a block during a snowstorm. Of course, it won't affect our valley. We are not in a cold biome, so it won't snow down there. It will only snow here at the top of the mountain. But I think that would give us even more of a natural look. And I was wondering what that sound was. We have stumbled upon our frogs right over there. who will get a more permanent enclosure. There's trouble. They will get a more permanent enclosure once we get our North Pole really going. They will have their own building to themselves. Of course, we will have all of our reindeer stables and Santa's workshop, our toy stores, some log cabins, and then of course the frog enclosure for our green frogs. Or I think it's green, anyway. I'm 99% certain that it is green frogs right up here. Yes, it is. Alright, I thought so. Not really sure what we were gonna do with them. What in the... Oh. Oh, I know what this is. Are we really on top of... That can't be right. Hang on. Is that where this is? I thought that was the next mountain over. Well, okay then. I guess we are building on top of our ancient city. It shows you how long it's been since we have been down in that direction. We really need a wind charge booster right there so we don't have to use 5 firework rockets to get out of that hole. Well, okay then. We're gonna leave a few blocks around this because that's a little bit difficult to see. So we'll do something like this, just outline it with snow. That way we can see where that is. Just like that, and then we will fill in with snow around it. I forgot that that was here. I thought it was on the next mountain that we have going over in that direction. But we will definitely be able to incorporate that somehow in our North Pole build. Some kind of system that takes us all the way down there. Needless to say, I think the warden is on the naughty list. So we are starting to get into the region of the mountain that is already covered with snow right up here. So it's going to start to all blend together, look very festive and wintry. We have a little bit more of some odd, not quite a cave, but again, a wannabe cave. We will go in and fill that one in. I don't think there's really any sense in leaving this here, but we're still going to cover all of the grass with snow for now. We'll do that. We will end up removing that tree. I don't know if there are any bees in that hive. I don't think there are, but we will get a campfire placed in there just to be safe and then remove that hive. I guess it doesn't really matter. If we remove the hive at night, all the bees, if there are any, will be in there. No pun intended. So we can just break that with our Silk Touch axe and haul that back to the storage building. And this, I think we're just going to cover... We'll get a torch put down in there, and we'll just cover this with snow right now. That way we don't have to worry about that. So pretty soon, we'll step back from this, fly away, and see how the progress is coming. I'm worried that, similar to before we went out and got the snow, I'm worried that it's not going to be anywhere close to as much as I think that we have done. I mean, just looking at this region, I think it is true. But let's go ahead and extend that snow down to there. Let's extend this snow up over here, a few blocks in this direction, maybe to about here. We'll turn it, and just outline a small area for us right here that we can focus on filling in. I think if we do this in bite-sized chunks, it will make it seem a little bit more manageable, a little bit easier for us. And then after we finish this chunk here, then we will go fly away and see how it looks. I do think it is making it a lot easier though. And I also think that we are going to have enough snow for this. I don't think we're going to have to go back to the quarry to get any more. I think we're doing pretty good. Yeah, we're definitely getting there. I'm trying to remember. Okay, there's our shulker boxes. I was trying to remember where I put those, but they are just down on our path. I think we're going to do the same thing right here. Get a few torches put into place right inside. And this whole mountain is just a network of caves with various mobs littered throughout. We are just going to do a few torches right there. And then we will go ahead and cover this up with snow as well, just right now. That way, again, we don't have to worry about it. We'll still cover up this grass down here and all around it. That way we can get a better idea of where those snow blocks need to be placed. So I think we'll do some, maybe like this. Leave that across the bottom, extend those here, and get a few more right in there. There we go, that looks pretty decent. This is a little off, I think. We will see how it looks when we get the rest of this snow into place. Remove a few more of those flowers there as well. We're just about finished with this section, actually. It went fairly quickly. Of course, it is just a small bite-sized chunk, as I said. So it gives you a little bit of reference of how long this whole thing will take. But we are here for it. We are gonna just continue filling all of this in. Alright, let's go get some sleep and continue to use our booster. Actually, I think we can just go ahead and finish this right up here. We don't want to cover up our path, but we will get the snow placed in around it. We'll fill this in, get some sleep, and then our wind charge booster will send us flying above the clouds, and we can really get a good view of how the whole snow covering is coming. Alright, so that will finish that section. Let's fly down here, get some sleep. Hopefully we don't have too many mobs spawning around our bed. We should probably get a few torches into place, but it seems like we are okay. Let's head over to our booster. Step down in here. There we go, and up we go. You know, that's actually pretty good. We are making really good progress on this. I think we are going to continue to do these bite-sized chunks. So we will extend this over here, just like that. And maybe, I think we'll extend this snow down right here. There we go. And we will start to place the snow in this next region. Do we want to place? Yeah, we'll go ahead and get snow put onto here. Just making sure we stay above that line. Of course, it's not a huge deal if we dip below it. In fact, we, again, are eventually going to do that, similar to how that mountain over there looks. But for now, it's just getting that general line into place, making sure that we have everything above it completely covered. Go. This section is a little bit smaller than the one that we just did before we slept, so it's going a little bit quicker here. And we're still doing really good on snow. I'm sure we're getting, yeah, down to our final stack here. So we will go grab some more out of the shulker chest once this is empty. There we go, and let's head down here, get a little bit more. We'll throw some of those other items into there as well. We don't need these seeds either. So how much was that? Are these empty now? No, we still have quite a bit of snow in there, so I think we will be okay. I think we're going to get everything covered up from the snow that we gathered at the quarry. We have a full inventory right now, so we can't quite pick up those poppies yet, but now we can. We'll run over and grab these. We don't really need them for anything, but we will take them anyway. If you can't already tell, I'm kind of a fan of landscaping, so it's always nice to have a few extra flowers on hand. Alright, so there's another bite-sized chunk just about taken care of. We have a few more grass blocks right up there, but that takes care of this chunk now. So we'll just continue to work our way around. There we go. I think next we will aim for this section right here. So we will draw a line right up here, just like that. And we will fill all of this in with snow. And I think we will go all the way up to this region right up here. And that's actually going to get most of the front face, I think, by the time we get all of this into place. Then it will be mainly focusing on the sides, but it will give us a really good look, really good picture of how this whole mountain is going to look once it is completely covered. Again, the snow goes down to the edge of the biome, down at the kind of on the side over here where the meadow meets the plains, which happens to be where the top trail, our top switchback is, and that seed is freaking out over here. Right here, so above this trail, that's where we are having snow. Below it is just normal grass. We may do some of the top snow down there just to have it a little more sparse, I guess, but still have that snow in there. But at the same time, if we have torches or anything like that along there, that will cause that snow to melt. So we definitely want to think about that if we decide to do something like that. We're just about finished with this section now, and then I think again we will fly back and take a look at it from up above. So we'll fly way out here, turn around, and go ahead and pause the game. That is actually looking really good, I would say. Of course, we have all of our well, our animals up top, and then our different modes of transportation, our frogs. So previously the snow stopped. You can kind of see where it stopped right up here before, and where we are starting to fill in with all of the snow. So I think we might go to right here, work on that section next. I'm trying to plan this out in my mind before we get to it, just kind of how the overall mountain will look. Alright, so I think we'll come back to the tree. We might fill this in. You know what? I think we will just end up working on this section for now, and then we'll go in and do some of that landscaping, terraforming, all of that. So we'll draw another line, make another chunk for us to work with here. We will just get this snow placed going all the way down to our baseline right down here. And we will just start to fill this in going around. Of course, now we are kind of on the backside. This right here kind of faces the back, but it's still the side of the mountain. It's not necessarily seen from the front, and of course we're not going to do the back, at least initially. We will eventually, but there just isn't any need to, since we don't have anything developed on the other side of this mountain. So we'll just continue filling in right along here. This is a little bit steeper than what we've been working with before. That is not a problem for us. And that tree will also probably end up going. We're going to do our own landscaping later on once we get all of this snow into place. Alright, we're going to need to divide this up a little bit more. This is a pretty big area that we are working with. So we'll draw another line right here. I think we'll do one going up the middle right here. Of course, it doesn't actually change the speed at which any of this gets filled in. But again, it's all that psychological stuff. It just makes it feel like it's going a little bit faster, and with a repetitive task like this, I think that's pretty important. And then we will draw one more line right here. There we go. So now we can work in these individual sections in between all of those lines, just one at a time. I think we're still doing really good on snow. After we finish this whole area right here, that'll give us a really good idea of whether we are going to need to get more snow or not. We'll get this flat area filled in up top, and then that will be the end of this section. We'll move on to the next one. Fill in the rest of that, and that is just about this section. We have one more area right here. We will get, there we go, and that one is complete. Perfect. So we have this one right here, which is a pretty small section. We could even do that one real quick before we go sleep. That way we can see a little bit more of this finished when we fly back up here in the morning. There we go, nice and easy. And then we have this one, which is a little bit larger, and this one right down here, though, we can also get this filled in real quick. And I guess we could get started on this one over here. As long as we don't have mobs spawning, there really isn't too much concern over doing this at night. And even if we have mobs, it's not the skeletons and zombies that are a problem, it's really just creepers. Because if they blow up, our snow will not drop. We will lose a decent amount of snow, not a whole lot. It's not like it would make a huge dent in our overall supply, but, you know, I think it is going to come down to our last stack of snow blocks by the time it's all said and done. Alright, let's go get a little bit more sleep down here. Then we will fly up there in the morning once again, and I don't think this is going to work for us. We'll go sleep at our house. And we will get back up there in the morning. So how is that looking? That is actually looking better than I thought it was going to, all things considered. And I didn't even notice this before, nor did I intend on it, but the layer of this snow is pretty close to being even with the snow over there. Now, obviously, it fluctuates quite a bit, and some areas of that mountain doesn't even have snow on it. But generally speaking, that snow is at roughly the same level, which, again, I didn't intend on, but that is actually going to make everything look a little bit more coherent and natural, I think. Sort of like a tree line among mountains, which of course here we have sort of the opposite. No trees down here and a lot up there. But I think we will have a bit of a tree line ourselves. Just having some pine trees down below here, and then once we get up towards the top, we will have a lack of trees just because of the lack of altitude. Just like how trees are in real life. Not lack of altitude, lack of oxygen. Definitely not a lack of altitude. Alright, so let's work on finishing up this section here, and then we'll hit that one over there. And I know this isn't as interesting as some of our live streams have been in the past. Of course, we're not just sitting here the whole time chopping down wood like we have done, but we're definitely not doing a lot of building either. Although the path at the beginning, I would say that was fairly interesting. Definitely something new, and something I kind of did spontaneously. I figured if we are going to really stick with this whole North Pole theme that we are going to be working on, we should put in the time to do it, and I figured a live stream would be the perfect time to do that, but I didn't want to do this ahead of time and then explain the whole process afterwards. I wanted to start the video beforehand and then do the off-camera work in the live stream. So that is what we are doing. We have one more section right here. Let's remove some of these flowers real quick. And we will get our snow blocks into place. Going all the way around, just like this. Now, most of the snow up here, we are actually probably going to end up building on it. And we are out of snow, so we have just a few more stacks left in our shulker box way over here that is on the path. So let's see how we do with this. We are out of snow in there, and we don't have any back at the storage. I used up all of it before we went and got the rest of the snow that we are using. So I think we're just going to go with whatever we can. It's definitely going to be enough to finish up this section right here, and then we will figure out if we want to go get some more snow or just work on something else. But we may have enough of the mountain covered that we don't need to work on it anymore. But if there's still a lot that is left to be done, I definitely want to get it done before deciding to do something else. But we are going to have this section finished up now. So that is pretty good. And we still have about 9 stacks left of snow. So let's fly away from this and see how everything is looking. I think we still have quite a bit to do over on the left-hand side, right down here. And then I think we might try to get that put in right there, this snow along here, just because it is facing the front. RC and KC says, "What's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome to the stream." We are just working on covering the top of this mountain with a little bit more snow. It had a little bit to begin with, but we are getting it the rest of the way there. Getting it ready for the holiday season to build a North Pole up here at the top. So we should have enough snow to finish in this line right here. Again, we could fill in all of that right there. There's some powdered snow that I didn't even see. The first powdered snow that we have encountered today. Again, a little surprising that we haven't yet run into that. We will get some buckets and remove some of that. We will be able to use it later on in our North Pole build. For now, we are just going to leave that be and work on filling in all of this snow, which again, we should have enough for. And then whatever we have left, we will go to the other side where that oak tree with the beehive is, and we will finish off our snow over there. And then that should be good. We shouldn't need to do any more of this for today. Remove some more of these flowers. And we have another... Do we have a cave down there? We might. We'll get some torches placed in, but I don't think we are going to fill all of this in. We have some skeletons down there. We're going to leave them alone. That should be good on torches. We will just cover this up right here. If that becomes a problem in the future, we can go in and fill that in with dirt or something like that. But for now, I think we should be okay. We'll cover that top part up as well. just like that. And we're still doing really good on snow, so we are definitely going to make pretty decent progress on the other side over there. Again, I mostly want to focus on the sides that face the valley, that way it looks more complete than it actually is, which I know is kind of cheating the whole build, but again, eventually it will all be covered in snow. I just want to make it look like we've done more than we actually have. Although, that's not to discount the work that we have put into this today. We're just about finished with this section right over here. I'm not going to worry about covering this part of the cave with snow. Although, well, no, I'm not going to worry about it yet. The terraforming will have to come later on. Some of these are going to take a little bit longer than other sections. There we go, so that takes care of all of that. We'll just get that filled in, why not? And we'll just leave the rest of that open. So that takes care of this side. So now all that is left, for now, is to fill in on the other side. Starting with, well, not right here because that is the hole that takes us all the way down to our ancient city, but right over here. I don't actually think we are going to have enough snow to fill all of this in. So I think we're going to start by sectioning off just as we've been doing before, and then we'll kind of decide where we want to fill in. I think we're going to emphasize the front and just kind of work front to back. If we get to that part, great. If we don't, well, we'll get around to it in the future. Alright, we're actually, well, we're down to our final 3 stacks, so I think we're going to draw a line right here. Remove that one, since we're only placing it on top of grass blocks. We'll draw a line right here, and we'll definitely focus on trying to get all of this filled in, which I think we will. Yeah, we definitely will get all of that filled in, but we are definitely not getting most of that section filled in. So we will be just short, but that's okay. We will return to that later on. And I think we're on our final stack now. And right as the sun is going down, 3, 2, 1, and done. Alright, so that is all of the snow that we have. Let's grab our shulker boxes. We'll get some sleep, and then we will fly up and take a look at the overall finished product. Well, almost finished product. And we are not going to take any chances with that creeper right down there. We will just fly over to our home to get some rest on top of the still burn-scarred roof of the trading hall. Alright, so we can either fly up or we can do it the fun way and use our wind charge booster right over here. Let's hop down in here, and once we dip back below the clouds, we will pause that and take a look at that. So we are definitely missing a pretty decent chunk right there. It's pretty obvious that it's not fully complete, but I think once we get that filled in eventually, that looks pretty good, and all things considered, it actually does look pretty natural because the top of this is completely covered up, and then right down here, because we only covered up the top of the grass, it looks a little bit more, or a little less compacted, I guess. So I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Of course, we have our path that goes all the way up. We still need to get some slabs put into place right here to make this part a little bit easier to navigate. But once we get into the hiking trail right up here, it actually goes pretty smooth because of the slabs and the stairs and how we placed them in. So if we just continue right up around here, all the way up, still no hiccups with that. That is great. Of course, it gets narrow in some spots. That's okay. And then it kind of curves around, a little bit of a hiccup right there, but we can get around that pretty easily. The final switchback right over here, and it turns and goes up, and we end up in this flat region where we will have the North Pole begin. So I think we have made great progress with this. We are going to take a break from that mountain, and we might actually take one more break overall before transitioning into the final segment of the live stream. So I will see all of you right back here very soon. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish off today's stream by taking a look in our to-do list. Of course, we have already taken care of the snow, we will cross that off, and we have taken care of our path up to the mountain, so we will cross that off as well. So what else can we work on today? We have a number of things that we can do. The minecart, what is this? Oh yes, the power plant minecart. Actually, I think we will go work on that. That is something that we do need to figure out. Of course, we built our power plant not long ago, As we can see, it is, well, not really oxidizing very quickly, but eventually it will get to the desired look. But right in here, we need to work on this area with our lava buckets, because apparently hoppers don't feed into hopper chests, or hoppers don't feed into minecart chests. So we need to figure out a different solution for that. I think we'll start by moving the lava over. We'll grab that barrel, we'll place that there. We have a few more lava buckets right there. We will get those put away into here. The whole idea of this is to be able to send the lava buckets that we get from here over into our smelting factory right here. Have them go up the minecart, which we will see come in here pretty soon. Deliver the lava buckets into all of these hoppers. Make sure that these furnaces and blast furnaces are always full with lava buckets. And then it goes back down and delivers the empty buckets from this chest into a separate stream, and basically just cycles through. Now, the way that we had this before, and the way that apparently doesn't work, is we had a hopper right there, and a hopper, or a chest right there, and I guess that doesn't work. I wonder, though, if we did a hopper minecart, that might actually work for us, and we should have everything that we need in the ender chest here, because it doesn't actually need to have a whole inventory full of the minecarts. Once one hopper over there and furnace is full, it's just going to deliver lava to the next one. So let's go ahead and grab that hopper, or the chest minecart, once it returns. We will take this. We are going to replace that with a minecart with hopper. When we place that down right there, if we had, say, a barrel, let's see, those are both full. I think we have another in here. If we had a barrel right there, well, that hopper, yes, it will pull from the barrel. Okay, so this is actually a pretty simple fix. Now we can just put a hopper on top of there, place another barrel on top of here, and place our lava buckets going into that barrel just right there. That will feed into the hopper minecart. Now, if we go down here and we place in a block right there, what we should see is that hopper minecart should hopefully return empty, and we will find out here shortly. And it does, and it filled up again, and it goes back. So that pretty much takes care of that, and we should see over here now that all of our furnaces are getting filled up with lava. Of course, some of these haven't really been used all that much. Maybe all the way over here at the end, that doesn't have lava. That one still doesn't. So some of these hoppers, I think, with the blast furnaces, are still filling up, which we could find out by just going underneath here. Yeah, there we go. So we can see that is filling up with those lava buckets. Now, when that comes back, all of those should be full, and we should see, oh, well, we are already seeing lava buckets in here. Let's see if we get one more. Okay, we must be empty on the other side then. So let's head back to the power plant here, and we will probably need to make some more buckets, or just fill up some more buckets into there. And now we can quickly fly back over here, and we should see a lava bucket appear in this furnace here once that minecart crosses over. You know what? It's probably filling up the hopper behind that furnace right here. So we should see an additional lava bucket go into here once that minecart returns. There we go. Alright, so that is finally working out for us. That takes care of that. Now we need to work on the return mechanism for it. We could do a whole fancy item filter thing, make it totally automatic. I think we will opt for something a little bit simpler, having a minecart track right here that will run in the same way. So we will have a couple blocks down here in the dirt, and I guess we could just go one block into the ground. This will go over all the way here to our storage system. Right up here, we will have that minecart exit somewhere up here with those buckets. So we need another track for this. A few more powered rails and some redstone torches. And we will fill in between here. So a powered rail right there. We will constantly power that. We could even place that right next to that track. And then have that go across here. Get a few more powered rails into place. We want to make sure that we have a few over here, so maybe not that many. We'll do something like this. Power those. Get a few more normal rails into place, and we will turn this going up in this direction. Now, of course, with the buckets, we want that to unload into a chest that we can easily access, so we are going to have that minecart come up and out over in this direction. The way we may do that instead is remove, I guess, can we remove that block? I don't know if we will want to. That's normal grass. Yeah, we don't want to remove that, but I think if we do something like this, and then turn it right there, and have that go up, I think that will work for us. This is very temporary. We will go back and change this later on, but something like that. Let's get a powered rail right here. Power that with a redstone torch. We can get in there. And there we go. And we will do one more right here. Power that with a redstone torch. There we go. We'll grab those final few items as well. Of course, now we are trapped. We'll just step out from here, fill all of that in, cover all of this up, and there we go. Is that gonna get stuck? I think we might get stuck on that block. We will have to keep an eye on that. We will power this with a... How do we want to power this? A lever, I suppose? Well, I don't know. I think eventually we will switch to a whole dedicated unloading system where the comparator will turn off that powered rail when it is unloading. For now, we just want to make sure that we have an easy way to get those buckets from A to B. And of course, we could always just carry them over. Quite honestly, at this point, I think the reason we want to deliver them this way is because those buckets take up a lot of inventory space. I think taking them back for now, we will just mark that and we will work on that a little bit later. So let's go make a few more buckets, make sure that we can fill up all of these chests right here with lava. Or not the chests, the hoppers. We'll make sure that all of those get completely filled up. Let's see how many we have. We only have 3, so we will make a handful of buckets. We should have plenty of iron over here from the iron farm. Turn those into ingots, and turn those into a lot of buckets. That should be enough. We might as well just use up the rest of that iron that we have. We do have 72 cauldrons in the power plant. So that is 72 buckets of lava that we can get from a single go. Let's empty out our inventory. These are both full, aren't they? Actually, that one isn't too bad. So we will throw some of those things into there. We'll get the hopper put into our redstone chest. Same with those rails. And that minecart chest as well. And that will give us, at least initially, enough space to work with. So most of these are full. That first row wasn't, because I was in here before the stream filling up some buckets, so that is why. But now we can start to get all of those into place. And we will just go back and forth. Eventually, I think we will see that that barrel will fill up. So that will be good. Of course, for now, that minecart is keeping up. Once that barrel is full, that's how we know that all of the hoppers over there are completely full, and the hopper minecart. And that's what we are aiming for. We want to have way more lava than we ever actually need. That way the automatic smelting is always ready to go. And our final row all the way back here. Perfect. Let's see if any other cauldrons have filled up. Not quite. We will throw those final few buckets into there. And let's see if it will take them all. I think it will eventually, but we will find out here soon enough. Just rearrange those. And of course we can put our empty buckets into that barrel right there. And yeah, it looks like it is going to take them all, which means all of these hoppers are getting filled up. We should be... Oh. I don't know why, but we have cobblestone smelting in here. So we're going to end up with stone blocks for some reason. We'll take that bucket out. We can grab those things as well. So it looks like we are on our final hopper now, which we can't really access from where we are. Yeah, we can't quite reach that. But that's good. That means that this minecart should be... Oh, didn't quite hit it in time. But this minecart should be completely full now, which it is. And I'm wondering how much lava is left. If we still have that bucket over here. Okay, it did take it. So that is empty. We are going to try to fill that up with lava. In the future, that will be a slow process. But for now, that is where we are going to end the live stream for today. I would say it was a success. We got a lot done of what we needed to get done with that mountain and that path, and it should be good to go for the rest of episode either 95, 6, or 7. I forget exactly where we are. I think 96. If you enjoyed the live stream, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and of course, if you ever miss any part of it, you can always go back and watch it. I leave it published on my channel in case you want to re-watch or if you missed anything. Check the description for some more important information, links, how to contact me, all of that good stuff. Once again, stay tuned for episode 100. That big museum reveal is coming up very soon. But with all of that being said, comment, like, subscribe, remember to stay optimistic, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye!